This video is sponsored by the EA Creator Network. As a member of the network, I'm given the game codes for free, and as such, I'm required to disclose this within my content. Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today. So as you can see, we're doing something a little bit different today. We are in the world of Granite Falls on this 40 by 30 lot, and we are turning this into kind of like a summer vacation caravan lot where your Sims can come on vacation and enjoy some well-deserved family time out in the wilderness and just really enjoy themselves. So I really hope you enjoy this. I was definitely very inspired by there's been a few people from what I've seen on YouTube who have created some absolutely beautiful like camper vans and caravans, and so I was definitely incredibly inspired by all of those wonderful builds, but I thought I'm going to kind of put my own flair on this. So as you can see, we are currently working on the exterior here. Now, just a disclaimer, you'll obviously be able to tell anyway because the thumbnail's different. The colour scheme on the exterior does change. Now, I actually ended up changing it when I was halfway through the interior. However, what I decided to do was place the footage of me actually changing it at the back end of finishing off the exterior, if that makes sense. So when we move on to the interior, those of you with a keen eye may notice that it still has the yellow exterior, but it has changed to the one that you can see on the thumbnail. I don't know why I'm mentioning that, it's kind of just a disclaimer sort of thing. But yeah, there's some really interesting parts of this caravan that I really wanted to include here. So we have like this little back, I wouldn't really call it a balcony, let's be honest, like a sort of back area with the French doors. I think that looks wonderful. That kind of comes off the kitchen living space, which I thought was really nice. There's plenty of outdoor activities here. There's a campfire, there's swings, there's like a little tent that I was envisioning one of the kids would use. So I should probably mention this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom caravan, which I think is quite typical of caravans. I know that there are some that have like 2 bedrooms, maybe even 3 bedrooms, but this has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. As you can see, that's the tent going in there, and then I am just outlining the outdoor area, and I just wanted to make sure that there were plenty of activities so that your Sims can really enjoy themselves here. And I also decided, kind of not really halfway through, maybe just under, that the caravan is likely static. Now, it is on wheels, so that's very typical of a caravan, but it's more of a static caravan. It doesn't move from this spot. So you will notice in some of the footage that I actually pull the car off the wheelbase. I don't know really what you would call that. I do pull that off just to kind of really cement that the caravan is static and does not move. So you can see there's a lot of foliage going on here. I do end up stripping this back. I ended up doing quite a few finicky bits off camera just because it was basically me sort of going in and messing with things. And I often do this, and I always say this in my voiceovers and my just general videos. I'm so finicky when it comes to things with building in The Sims, and this build, of course, was no exception. I'm so like this. I'm like this in real life as well, though, because I don't know. I tend to, because I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist. I think that's perhaps what it is. I'm such a perfectionist that there's a way that I like to lay things out, and yeah, this build, because there's an awful lot going on, and I think my brain was just trying to work out and comprehend how I can sort of compartmentalize everything and make everything work without it being too overwhelming. Does that make sense to anybody? It perhaps doesn't. I do apologize. But anyway, yeah, starting to add the activities here. We've got a guitar, we've got some clutter pieces over here, so there's like a table and then some just generic bits. So yeah, sorry, I was about to talk about like the family dynamic. So I envisioned with this that there's 2 parents, a child and a dog. Now, it's a little bit strange that the child would have to sleep outside in a tent. I personally wouldn't really like that if this was my own child, but it is The Sims. At the end of the day, I wanted it to offer more for more Sims than just 2. And so this is kind of what I came up with. You could kind of switch out the family dynamic a little bit if you wanted to. You could perhaps put a tent out here for the parents and then swap out the double bed in the main bedroom here for either some bunk beds or some twin beds. You know, so that you've got 2 parents, 2 kids and a dog. That could be a really good option. And now that I'm thinking about it and looking back, it's one that I wish I had have gone with before I finished this build. But that's what it is. It is what it is now. Now, initially, I was going to do kind of like an outhouse area. So that's what I'm currently building here. Now, what I was sort of thinking with this is that it would sort of work as an outside toilet let me start again. An outdoor toilet / shower area. Wow, say that 10 times fast. And then I quickly come away from that because I realised that the interior of this caravan was actually quite deceptive, and I knew that I could definitely fit in a decent sized bathroom. So this little hut that's currently out there is going to come away in just a moment. And I would like to point out as well, I used to go on caravan holidays with my family, my grandparents, my parents, my sister, and because my grandparents owned a caravan, a static caravan. And the memories that I have and that was sort of resurfacing as I was building this house it just warmed my entire heart. And I just thought I wanted this to be just a really homey, sort of loved kind of space for your sim families to come and really make some memories of their own. And I'm really hoping that I achieve that with this. So you'll definitely have to let me know what you think in the comments down below if you've used this build yet. It's been on the gallery for a few hours at this point, so probably not many of you will have used this yet. But yeah, has anyone got any like memories of maybe caravan outings as well? I think it's quite typical for people from the UK to have them, but it would be interesting to see if anybody else does from other parts of the world as well. So this is when I kind of decided that the interior was looking a little bit dark, and so I did this at the end. So it just allowed me to sort of add some more windows. It allowed some more light to flood in. That's where the main bedroom ends up being. So it really made the difference for me when I was looking at the interior, and it just gave the outside a little bit more shape, a little bit more, I don't know. There was just something really interesting about it. And visually now, with this bit on the end, it definitely looks a little bit more interesting, and also looks, in my opinion, a little bit more like a caravan. You know, I kept looking at this and thinking, this doesn't even look like a caravan. Like, what is going on here? But I think I've done this so many times and I've spoken about this so many times, so I'll just very quickly mention it. When you're working on a build, I don't know if it's just a me thing or if everybody does this, but when you're working on a build for a long time, for me, the longer I look at it, the more I grow to hate it. The more I start to pull it apart, pick it apart and think, well, that's not very good. I could have done better with that bit, and that doesn't look quite right. And then I'll go back to it hours or even days later and I'll be like, oh, this actually isn't as bad as I thought it was. Does anybody else do that? Or is that just a me thing? I'm hoping that it's something that we all can share. Let's all share our pain with that, because it's definitely something that I do. Anyway, so yeah, we start pulling out some bikes. There's a picnic table here. There's some beach towels. As I was saying at the beginning, there's like a little fire pit as well. There's a clothesline, although there isn't a washing machine in the caravan, so it doesn't really make much sense. However, I was kind of thinking, well, you know, if maybe they've gone swimming or something, just for the realism. I know this doesn't really happen it doesn't happen in The Sims, but if they went swimming, they could hang their swimming costumes out, their bikinis, swimming trunks, whatever. And I just thought that was kind of a nice idea. The swing sets going in, and this is where I decide to like completely change up the color scheme. And this for me right now, right here, is like chef's kiss. Yes, I love it so much, and that was when I really started to adore this build. So yeah, here we are. The outside is yellow again because, as I was saying at the beginning, I did add that footage kind of out of sequence. So I'm sorry if that ruins the immersion a little bit, but it just made more sense in my head to do it that way. But now we've moved on to the interior here. It's a very simple floor plan, a very simple layout, and as you can see, it's rather spacious inside. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out now as well, because I struggled, and I mean struggled, trying to work out what I wanted to do with the kitchen. For some reason, the kitchen was the hardest part for me, and I thought going into this, that was going to be the easiest part. But it definitely wasn't. This is the bit I struggled with the most. The bit that I found the easiest was the living area, and I thought going into this that would be the hardest bit, at least for me. And then trying to figure out what colour scheme I wanted to go for and what sort of items I wanted to throw in here, because it's not an old caravan. Let's just point that out right now. I would definitely like to build a much older caravan, a caravan that my gran and granddad owned and that I have visited many times during my childhood. I would definitely like to make one that's more like that, but this is definitely a slightly newer caravan. You know, it's perhaps been done up inside a little bit, but the family that use this and that come here often, they love it so much. It's their home away from home, and they come here every summer to make some new memories. That's the kind of backstory that I was thinking with this, and it warmed my entire heart. I loved it so much. Anyway, so yeah, the kitchen's super simple. There's not much going on. I could have added another kitchen counter on the left hand side of this mini fridge, but I just decided not to. I don't know whether that was a bad choice or not. It also has a slimline dishwasher. I mean, this is fancy. You know, this caravan's fancy. But yeah, because the exterior was so colourful and so vibrant, I wanted to bring that onto the inside as well. So that's why we've got these pops of blue and orange and bits of yellow here and there as well, just to kind of I can talk, I promise. I absolutely can talk. For some reason, I am struggling today, so I do apologise. But yeah, pops of colour coming in on the inside as well, just to sort of make everything flow a little bit better. And I have not used this sofa from base game in so long, and this is a texture that was added, I feel it was around when the Tiny Living stuff pack was released. Someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been such a long time since I've used this sofa, and I was like, this just kind of seems like the perfect opportunity to use it. So that's exactly what I did. And with it being a static caravan, I started to get out of my own head and realised, well, the caravan is staying where it is, so I can kind of go to nuts on the clutter and everything like that, because it's not like it's going to be moving around and everything's going to be jumping about all over the place. So they definitely took the pressure off, at least for me, with this. But yeah, we had a bookshelf here, there's a little plant. It's just so homey and cozy. And then I put a teeny tiny telly on this little table here, and I just thought it just screamed caravan to me. I was like, I can almost... Does anyone think that caravans have like this smell, and it's such a nice smell, but I can't work out or try and describe what kind of smell it is, but I could smell this while I was building it, and I know that sounds really weird, but I could. And then that's where I add the dog bowl, because I figured that the family, they have a dog, they could have a cat, but I just thought them having a dog probably makes more sense. So that's exactly what I thought with this. And then I'm just adding some more sort of clutter pieces onto the wall, just trying to make it look a little bit more homey. I didn't want it to look like too minimalistic. I wanted it to just be a little bit mix-matched. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I am not with it today at all. I do apologize. But yeah, anyway, hallway table. Then I figured, okay, well, they need some board games, because I remember when I was younger, we used to play Monopoly. We used to play, I think it was Trivial Pursuit. We used to play dominoes with my grandparents, so I was like, I have to add board games in here, just as a little homage to that. So that's exactly what I did. There's a place for you guys to add family pictures, so that you can add family pictures. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then just going in here and just pulling out some more clutter pieces. I did some shoes near the door. This family, they take their shoes off at the door. It doesn't matter if they're at the caravan. That is what they do. That is what their parents have taught them growing up, and they're like, yes, let's take the shoes off when we come inside. So this is the bathroom. Really good size. I maybe could have added a bath shower combination in here, which you can definitely add if you would like. I don't know why I didn't, really. It was perhaps because of the window placement. I think that's probably why I didn't do it. But it is a very minor thing if that is something that you would like to add. So you are more than welcome to change that if you would like, and I completely understand. And then we move on to the one and only bedroom. This is where the double bed is. And as I was saying, you could definitely put 2 beds in here and have the parents sleep outside in the tent. But that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to download this caravan from the gallery, you can do so right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just down below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care. I cannot wait to read all your wonderful comments, and I will see you again next time. Bye!